Hey everyone, my name is Brittany. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'll be going over all the TV shows and movies that I watched in Q2 of 2023.
It's Brittany, bitch.
I watched a great many new shows during this time and some of them were fucking fantastic. So let's just get into it. I just have a list on my phone and I add to it whenever we watch a new TV show. So that's how this list is started, and I do categorize it by streaming service and or wherever I saw it. So we're gonna start with Hulu, and that is where we watched Abbott Elementary season 2, baby. So I love this show. This show is fucking amazing. I'm obsessed with it. It is probably one of the best shows on television right now. And if you're not watching it, go watch it right now. Click off this video, go watch Abbott Elementary. It is that fucking good. We actually rewatched season 1 on purpose just to watch season 2. And then we watched season 2 again. It's that good. Everything about this is just 10 out of 10. I love the actors in this. They are a fucking hoot. It is just a good ass time. It's modern, it's present. It talks about issues that are actually like reaching issues. Like honestly, this show is absolute fucking perfection, which is why it has such a high Rotten Tomatoes. So just go check it out. Next we watched Kindred, which is actually one of my favorite books. And I have to say that the show did not do the book justice, but I also think it's because the show was canceled. So there's only one season of this show. As of this moment, it's like a limited series. It was obviously supposed to continue because whenever you watch the last episode, you realize it was definitely meant to be continued. I love that this gave one of my favorite books a medium to be on the screen. I just think this was really heavily focused on drama, and I feel like it could have not been focused on trauma because I feel like the book, like obviously traumatic moments happened, but I feel like there were so many like good things in between, and we just didn't really get that in the show. And I feel like also the show changed a lot of things that I didn't like. I didn't like how they modernized it. I really think that did a disservice to the plot in my opinion, and it just didn't work as well for me. I think the acting was incredibly well done. I think a lot of the script was really well done. I liked a lot of the conversations that were brought up. I just feel like this was entirely too traumatic, and it obviously already has like a very traumatic past. Like the book itself is traumatic because basically a black woman, originally in the book it's in the 70s, she has to go back in time and she's pulled through time without her consent to take care of this little boy who she finds out is one of her ancestors, who's like a plantation owner in the future. So she literally has to like protect him to protect her own line to get herself born. It's a very interesting dynamic. It is like a fucking incredible theme, and it's such an interesting thing to explore. I just don't know if the show did it in the way that I enjoyed. It also was really slow in the beginning, and it took quite a minute to get into it. Like what I recommended, I think you should, but honestly I'd recommend the book over anything else. But I like a lot of the character choices in the show. Next, we watched The G.O.A.T season 3, and we did, of course, rewatch seasons 1 and 2 like we had to. The G.O.A.T is one of my other favorite shows. I just feel like Hulu is just fucking killing it because these are Hulu originals. I am just obsessed with The G.O.A.T. I remember the first time we watched it, I just wanted to give it a chance just because it sounded interesting. I did not realize how fucking funny this show is. It genuinely makes me laugh every fucking time I watch it. The main character who is like the king in this, the emperor, he's hilarious. He is so fucking funny. Nicholas Hoult is an incredible actor, and then him and Elle Fanning just work so well together, and they just make this show like what it is. I will say season 3 had a death I didn't see coming. Prepare yourselves emotionally for that. I was kind of distraught. I actually stopped watching the show for a couple days. I was actually so upset that somebody in this died. I mean, there's a lot of other deaths, you know, going on, but like this person I was not expecting to die. I wasn't expecting that, and I was devastated. But the show is so fucking good. It's basically about Catherine the Great and like her reign, but it's mostly a true story. Like a lot of it is historical, and they add some like historical elements, but a lot of it obviously is like not true to the story, and they're adding in so many things. But the dialogue is so witty and funny. Like I love the way that he used like swear words, and action scenes are just really great. I have no complaints about the show. I could watch the show till the end of time. It's one of those shows that like if you're on a desert island, you do want to bring this show because it is just so funny and it makes me laugh. Like not many shows can actually make me laugh out loud. This, Abbott Elementary, a couple others, like they actually make me laugh. If you're looking for a good laugh, it's a historically semi-accurate good time, check this out. Another fantastic show, The Bear season 2. So I watched The Bear obviously as it came out season 1. I was obsessed with The Bear, and I still am. Yes, chef. So The Bear is basically just like a cooking show, and it centers around Carmi, who is like kind of like a world famous chef, and then basically goes back to his brother's restaurant and runs the restaurant after his brother unalives himself. It is such a deep emotional show. I actually fucking cried. I think it was episode 6. Basically, the second season kind of focused individually on each character, so like each character kind of like their own episode. Taylor Swift's love story in one scene just like set me to tears. tears. Like, I was so happy for this character. I can't even tell you. The bear is incredible. It's a phenomenon. You just have to watch it. If you have anxiety, you may find it a little intense to watch. It's very, very high energy. There's a lot of yelling. There's a lot of screaming. It's very chaotic. I mean, they're in a kitchen. And also, I mean, people like literally have panic attacks on, you know, on screen. They're throwing up, like they're freaking out. There's drug abuse. Like, there's a lot going on. I would check out the trigger warnings for the show for sure, but the show is so good. I think it's also a testament to the fact that we should not be canceling shows for their first seasons, because season 2 got an even bigger like hit. Like, more people have watched season 2, and it's an amazing show. Honestly, incredible. Can't say anything bad about it. Hulu is on the up and up, man. Next, we're gonna go to Netflix, where we watched Old Enough season 2. This is just like a little Japanese show that they decide to like upload to Netflix. And season 2 definitely has some like reunion episodes of like whenever they were like, some of the kids actually grew up and then look back on their episodes, which was really sweet and like heartbreaking. Like, one of them had like a mother who had like cancer. It was oh my god. But this show is basically about little kids in Japan going off for like their first errand, which is really funny. It's really cute. My favorite episode of all time is the one where the little kid has to like get a fish, and he's to like go down a hill, and he keeps dropping everything, and then like there's a cat trying to eat the fish. It is just a chaotic good ass time. It's really funny. It's very sweet. I mean, kids are just hilarious to say like the darndest things. Like, just go check this one out. They have season 2 out right now, but season 1 I think is a lot longer. Next on Netflix, we watched Beef season 1. This is one of those shows I really hope to make a season 2. Season 1 of Beef. This show was just a surprise. I remember just seeing it and I was like, that looks very interesting. And it has Steven Yeun and Ali Wong as like the main characters, and they basically get into a road rage incident and ruin each other's lives and ruin their own lives in the process. This is such like a spiral. Like, this show had like Breaking Bad vibes, like toward, you know, like the end of Breaking Bad, where it's just a spiral downwards of like garbage, but like it's so entertaining to watch because these characters are making like the worst choices. That's what it's like. This show was fantastic. I fucking loved Beef. I watched this in like a day. I recommend it to literally everybody. It's basically about people having beef with one another, and it's just so incredible. It's so well done. I think some of the shows coming out right now are just fucking fire. I mean, this wrap up is just so many good ass shows. I mean, there's a couple of bad ones. There's a couple of like not great moments, but right now we're good. Next, I watched Where the Crawdads Sing, the movie, and I did really enjoy this. I loved the book when I originally read it. I don't know which one I prefer. I think I'd probably prefer the book just because I liked being in Kaya's head, but this is about a little girl who grows up in an abusive family and then is eventually abandoned by said family. She's the only one living at this house, and she's kind of known as like the Marsh Girl. And it's also kind of like a murder mystery because somebody she was involved with they think was murdered. And so she's also put on trial, but she doesn't live in society. So people just have bad thoughts about her. And she's kind of trying to like prove society wrong while working on her artwork and publishing for nature stuff. So it's a really beautiful, slow-paced book. And I think that the movie did a really good job of like executing that. I still think that I prefer the book though. But I think the movie was really well done. It was a nicely done production. I don't really have any complaints, but it was good. I liked it. Next, we watched Love is Blind season 4. And I think this was a really interesting season of Love is Blind. I really don't know why they included so many key Ivsa characters. So many people that like don't live in the area that they lived in, because that's obviously going to be a point of contention in any relationship whenever you don't live in the same fucking city. So I don't even know why like half of them were even, you know, contenders to begin with. And then hearing some of the stuff behind the scenes that we already kind of knew about, that they like purposefully like bring up people's trauma and stuff. You know, I'm very amenable to them changing the show a little bit. I'm also really looking forward to them changing the host, because I cannot stand the host. My brother even more so literally hates, what's her name? So it's Nick Lachey and his wife. Is it Vanessa? Yeah, Vanessa. He hates Vanessa. And I agree. You know, Vanessa, she literally drilled the men so hard at the reunion and then didn't drill the girls at all. I thought it was really weird and sexist, and I didn't like it. And that's all I can really say. Season 4 was absolutely fucking nuts. I enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. I hope they pick better next time. Next, we watched Do Revenge, which is a film on Netflix that has Camila Mendez and, oh my god, it's like Uma Thurman's daughter, the really famous one, Maya Hawke. It has both of them in this. I liked this movie. I liked the twist at the end, and I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't my favorite film of the year or anything, even though I do love Camila Mendez. I'm like very partial to her. I really, really love her acting. But I just didn't really love this like high school thing. I think the problem is like anything that's kind of like a younger teenage audience, I'm having a hard time connecting with as I get older, and I think it's just just because I don't relate to that anymore. I don't understand how this current generation deals with social media. And I think that that's why this movie just was not it for me. I also just I don't understand some of the humor, and I think that's a big part of it. Like, you have to like understand what they're talking about and like laugh at the jokes to like get the humorous, funny part of this. But it was actually a really fun movie. I liked it. When I watched it again, like if it was on TV, like I would watch it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. Next up is what we watched on Amazon Prime, and that was Daisy Jones and the Six. So this is obviously a very famous Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I really liked the show. I think a lot of things should have been changed. It really bothered me, and I have to agree with what my brother said. He said it was kind of boring, and I said, you know what, you're right. And I think even the book is a little bit boring because it's told in an interview format, but I think especially in a show format, I needed, not like we needed more drama, but like I didn't understand why I cared. Like watching the show, I really didn't care for the characters as much. Like I think some of the drama towards the end was like the heartstring of it, and that was the same way in the book. Yeah, and I would agree. I feel like the ending was really good in general, but like the lead up that didn't make sense. And it wasn't because like they were just a big band I didn't care. I just feel like I didn't care for these characters. I didn't really connect. I didn't care for the main character. I don't remember his name. Sam Claflin? I don't remember his name. He was way too old to be playing the main dude. Like he looked fucking ancient, and I'm trying not to be rude right now, but he looked way too old to play this hot young rock star. I'm so sorry. The man looked 55 while he was filming, and you're telling me that this is like a young 20-year-old dude out there slinging pussy like crazy. I'm gonna vote no. Unless you're a really, really old rock star, then sure. But I don't know. He was not like my favorite fit. I think that's actually what really bothered me. I liked Daisy Jones. I think she was a really well done character. I really liked how the actress played her. I think she was like the perfect look. He did not do it for me. Like at all. And I also really didn't like Suki Waterhouse in this. She was so fucking bland as a character. Like, why are you even here as Karen? Like, what did you bring to the story? I don't know. I have a lot of complaints about this show. I feel like the book did it better, but it was still kind of boring. Like no matter what, like I don't really care too much about a rock star thing because it didn't build the anticipation very well in the show. Next up on Amazon, we watched Shiny Happy People, which is all about the Duggar family secrets. I used to absolutely love like 19 Kids and Counting when I was growing up because I just find it so interesting to see how those people lived. And that's something I point out in this show where they're kind of doing an expose on the family and what that was like for them. I really enjoyed this. It's only like a 4-part little series and like a little expose documentary sort of thing. Really enjoyed it. It's kind of harrowing to see how people cover up for predators that much, especially in religious communities. That's all I'm gonna say. And my heart goes out to every single one of the Duggars, the good ones. Next up on HBO Max, which is now called Max, I watched Suicide Squad. I tried watching this a really long time ago. Got 10 minutes in and I was like, you know what, this movie's not for me. And then I rewatched Divergent, and I love Jai Courtney so much as Eric. And I was like, what other stuff is he in that I could see? But he's in a lot of action stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big action fan, but he's in like mostly action things. And I was like, well, Suicide Squad like sounds interesting. Like, I'll give that another go. I absolutely hated this film. I just did not enjoy it. It was the most boring action film I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know why. There are so many amazing actors in this. I really just think I hated the editing and the filming and the shooting. Like, none of it worked for me. I can't even say one thing I liked about it. The whole the whole Enchantress storyline, could not give a fuck. I literally just did not care about anything. I thought some of the action scenes were weird. It just didn't work. Like, I like the characters involved. I just could care less. It's not my thing at all. Next up, we watched The Flight Attendant season 2. We also rewatched season 1 just to you know, I like to rewatch things. He doesn't like to, but I force him to rewatch things a lot because I want to see what the original season looked like and like kind of go back from there, because seasons do tend to change and I really like to see the progression. And I really think I like season 1 better, but season 2 was also interesting and well done. This is basically about a flight attendant who wakes up and the guy next to her is murdered, and she's like a supreme alcoholic, so she really does not remember, and then she's kind of brought into this world of crime. And second season, kind of the same thing. She's now working with like the CIA and somebody's framing her for something she didn't do. It's a whole thing. I liked it. I found it a little predictable. Season 1 was better. I definitely would like to read the book because it's actually a book. Before it was obviously a TV series, so I really like to check that out. But season 1 was better than season 2, just my opinion. I'm not sure if they're gonna make season 3. I'd be open to watching it. And then next we watched The Sex Lives of College Girls season 1 and season 2. We finally watched the show because I've been seeing on people's lists for a while now, and I kind of like saw some stuff about it, and it's like, it looks like exactly what I would like. And I was right. I really love this show. I think season 1 was a little bit better just because for some reason season 2 had a lot of weird lighting in it. I don't really know how to say that, but I feel like the lighting in season 2, like they upped their budget, but it was almost like too much light whenever there should be a little more shadows, and like everybody was like overly more made up and more fake in season 2. I don't really know if that was like a choice on purpose or they just got better lighting and somebody complained about it. I don't know. I like season 1, I like season 2, but season 1 is my favorite. And this show is basically about the sex lives of 4 roommates, and there's just like a lot of drama and college stuff, and it's very, very interesting. It's very entertaining. It's very funny, and there's a lot of character growth in such a short amount of time, and I really enjoyed this. I really hope they make a season 3 because I'm very open to watching that as soon as possible. It's a very fast, easy watch. Just go check it out. Next on Discovery Plus, we watched the Flipping El Moussas, which, as you know, I'm a very big fan of for Flop, and this show is with Tark and his new wife Heather, and she is on Selling Sunset, which I never could get into, but I really like this show. I really just did not like how there's only like 6 episodes, and they were filmed, but then like the episodes are like out of order. Like she was pregnant throughout this whole ordeal, and like some shots she wasn't pregnant, other shots she was. Like I fucking hate that. Like, and I understand, especially when you're filming with like with houses, you can't always choose when they close or when they open or like when you're done with the project. Like I get that. I wish it was just like more continuity and they planned stuff a little bit better. I'm not saying just with her pregnancy. Like there was sometimes like a pregnancy thing at the end of the thing. Like they, like I think it was like the last episode they were announcing her pregnancy to the family. And I'm like, we already knew about this the entire time. Like why are you showing this on screen? I don't need to see this. Show me the fucking house. You know, just get to the point. Also, I'm so tired of their fucking dog in like every scene because a dog actually shit in the house one time. Like stop bringing your fucking dog to a brand new house that you just finished. Keep the dog at home. Seriously. We also watched 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way season 4. I'm obsessed obviously with anything 90 Day Fiancé, and this season was a doozy. There were some really interesting characters, and the memes from this season are supreme. It's just, there's so many good ones. Like the memes are my favorite part about like any reality TV show ever, but I love the ones from this season. There was a lot of really interesting relationships, and I think it's so weird to see people choose people and you like know they're bad for them and they continue to go through with it, and you're like, why are you doing this? You know? So totally support, love that show. I cannot wait for the other seasons of the other shows to come out because I think those are all still filming right now, but I'll watch every single one of them. Let me quickly talk about what I saw in theaters, which was The Little Mermaid, and I really was not expecting to love this as much as I did. I fucking loved this. I just went into it because I kind of wanted to see a movie. I haven't seen a movie in like months and months and months, probably like almost like half a year, 8 months maybe. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go check this movie out. Everybody says they liked it. It'd be like a good fun film, and if I didn't like it, I wouldn't gonna be like upset. I loved it. It was amazing. And she is definitely the best Ariel, period. And he's the best Eric. Like he actually brought life to Eric, who was like, honest to God, like one of the lamest fucking Disney princes. He literally did jack shit, and he made Eric into the biggest simp. Like this boy was down bad for Ariel, and I loved it. Like his commitment to that character, supreme. Like I'm very, very impressed with the acting in this film. I'm very impressed with how they took it. I love the set changes, the location changes. I loved all the people of color in this, and that they changed everything and they changed the way everything worked. Like I really, really liked it. The only gripe I have is they took out my favorite song, which is Les Poissons. I love that song about killing little crabs. It was the best part of my childhood. I loved that song every time it came on in The Little Mermaid, which VHS I used to watch constantly. So I will still say this is a better rendition, but I do miss that song. Sorry. Wild Uncharted Waters has nothing on the original Les Poissons. That's just my opinion. But please go watch this. Please, I'm dying for this to come out on Disney Plus so I can actually watch it like again. And I keep recommending it to everybody. I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed. And I'm also just obsessed with Prince Eric in this. Like he's so down bad for this bitch. And I love a man that's desperate for the love of his life. It's such a kink for me. I love it. We're almost done. My ring light is almost done as well. So I'm gonna try to hurry up here, but I got 2 left for you. On Peacock, we watched the newest season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think it was season 13. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with Teresa and Melissa. Like this is such a mess. Like I just pray for this family all the time. Melissa and Joe are my favorite like on-screen couples from the Housewives. So I really hope we continue to get to see them. I just really wish Teresa and Melissa could work it out, and more likely Teresa getting over her bullshit to work with Melissa. And I'm also very curious how it's gonna work out with Louis and Teresa. Interesting pairing. I'm very, very interested to see how they're gonna turn out. I don't think it's gonna end well, but I really love this season. I do wish that we got to see more of Frank with Dolores. I'm not gonna lie. I think that Dolores's man needs to work on letting Frank and Dolores hang out. I understand that they want a little bit of separation. I get that, but like Frank and Dolores are like, they were also one of my OG couples, even though they're not actually a couple. Like, I just love them together as besties raising their family. Good for y'all. This is a very entertaining season. It was full of some crazy ass shit. Definitely go watch that one. And last, and certainly least, on my dad's platform, it's called Lex, where you can like share movies. I watched The Exception. Again, I was down bad for Jai Courtney, and I wanted to see him in something else because I was very disappointed in Suicide Squad, and I was like, let me watch this like war film. Okay, the film itself wasn't bad. It was an A24 film. I was expecting to like love it, and I really liked a part of it. I really liked a lot of it for sure. It also had Christopher Plummer in it, but oh my god, Jai Courtney and Lily James gave me two of the worst sex scenes I've ever seen. I'm actually kind of scarred from how bad they were. I don't care that we got to see a full peen shot. It did nothing for me. It was the most awkward, weird, sexual things I've ever seen. They literally said no words to each other, and then she like comes to his door and like takes all her clothes off, and it's like the most awkward encounter I've ever seen. And then the second time they have sex, she's on top of him, and it looks like she's like holding him down for ransom. How is this supposed to be sexy? It just makes no sense.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
It's basically about like Nazi Germany, and I don't remember the whole story, but she's like a spy and he's there to like protect the dude. It's a whole thing. If you can look up those sex scenes, I'd recommend it. They're just the most awful things I've ever seen in my life. There's absolutely zero chemistry. I really don't understand why they were in the film. Their romance also did absolutely nothing for me. I felt zero chemistry. I don't think I've actually felt that little chemistry between people in a film, like maybe my entire life. So would not recommend. Anyway, those are all of the TV shows and movies I watched in Q2. Hopefully I have some other really good ones coming up here in Q3. There's a couple of them on my list, so I'm hoping that I can finally get to those, because I love obviously having a really good quarter for those sort of things, but you never know what you're gonna get. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you've watched any of these down below. Let me know your thoughts on them, and let me know if there's anything you want me to watch, because if I have the streaming platform, I will go ahead and try to attempt pretty much anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.